we all believe Team USA is en route to the gold medal. I think it's tomorrow they play Serbia, correct?
Yes.
And then the winner of that game will play the winner of the Germany-France game on the other side of the bracket. But we believe that Team USA is headed toward its 5th straight gold medal. And this year, I guess it's reinstated from 2004. I never even remember this. But they have a most valuable player award for the player who, was the best in the Olympics. Which, Martin, I don't like that. I think in the Olympics, team sports, it should just be about the gold medal. Because one of the great things about these dream teams and redeem teams and all that is that guys don't care about the stats. At least they don't. Remember Kobe with the redeem team said, man, I'm just defending.
Right.
I'm just locking people up. We got enough scores. And then he scored in the gold medal game against Spain because they needed him to. But guys just play to win. And I love stats. I love accolades. I love awards. Those are how we do measure the best player. So I love that in leagues during seasons and playoff time and stuff. But during the Olympics where it's only 6 games, I think it's refreshing where it doesn't matter. And you just go out there and play.
Well, especially, Chris, not real quick, when you look at the Team USA that's established, right, and it's not necessarily true for all the other international teams, but Team USA, you got guys who are changing the way they play to fit into this whole picture of the team, right? All of these guys could go out and drop 50. We've seen it on any night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so nobody really cares who's the most outstanding player. But nonetheless, they have put that into this year's Olympics. And you can argue, and I'll tell you what, and Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong, finding the cumulative stats for Team USA, what the averages are during the Olympics, is like trying to break into Fort Knox.
Listen.
Have you been able to find them, Martin?
I mean, it really is like going to dial-up internet. It is so. I found one on I Googled Team USA stats box score. It took me to ESPN.UK. I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are we just not covering this in the United States? I can't believe it.
And you might get the box score for that game, but overall, the 3 games combined, I can't find it. It's ridiculous. Not even, at least from what I could tell, on the Team USA or USA Basketball website. What is going on? Rob G, am I wrong?
No, they don't even have minutes played.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, I know he's not the leading scorer, I don't believe. And he hasn't led them in scoring in any of the games, the 3 Olympic games.
Uh-huh.
The other ones, remember, were exhibitions. But I think LeBron is probably the MVP. Because the floor game he's playing is tremendous. He's not the point guard Magic Johnson is, but he's playing point now, and he's giving you a little shades of that. But I'm not saying he's been like Magic. Magic's by far the best point guard ever. But, he's playing. I think he's the glue. He's the one bringing everybody together. But here's what I want to throw out to you, Martin. Because I don't think anybody's saying LeBron's the best player in the world. I think it's Nikola Jokic. Some might think it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Some might think it's Luka Doncic. But I don't think many people are arguing that it's LeBron. But the play in these Olympics, he's been their best player, I believe. And so here's the question I want to throw out at you, Martin, that many people are asking. Is LeBron still the best American player in the NBA?
No, he's not. Especially when you consider the way that when we generally talk about the best player in the world in an NBA, that's generally throughout the course of a season, 82 games in and out, and what you can do in the postseason, right? That's where we kind of rank that. I don't think LeBron is, but the thing is, though, is he the best player on this team? Should he deserve the MVP? I think he definitely deserves the MVP because, as you mentioned about his floor game And his style of play allows those guys who are, if he's on the ball, it allows everybody who is a great shooter to really play well. That's part of the reason why Devin Booker has been out there for a majority. Like, Devin Booker's spot seems to be solidified on Team USA.
I think he's leading them in plus minus. Again, if I could ever find the stats.
Right. You have to find it in somebody's article that actually was there probably tracking missed shots and makes. But his style of play and the way the Olympics are set up, there's nobody blowing by him. And if there is somebody blowing by him, you got either Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, or Joel Embiid behind you to go ahead and take care of that and clean it up, right? Yeah. He doesn't have to play the same level of defense he'd have to play in the NBA, nor, honestly, the same level of offense, because his team is not required for him to be both the best scorer on the team and the best passer on the team to reach a high level of success.
I'm with you. Like I said, this is 6 games. And Kobe, we saw score 60 points in his last NBA game. And I know he took 50 shots. I think literally 50 shots.
It was 50 on the dot.
Yeah. So I know, but my point is that Jordan, I don't know if it's his first or second season with the Wizards. He had several 50-point games with the Wizards. Now, he wasn't the same Michael Jordan, but that shows you, like, when you get older, you can still do it in spurts. Whether that spurt is a part of a game, an entire week or 2, you can still do it in spurts. When you get older, the problem is you can't do it consistently for 80 freaking games and then the playoffs. And so this is perfect for LeBron. Like, 6 games, fairly spread out. When you play, you're only going to play about 25 minutes or so. When you go to the bench, you got so many great players on your team that they don't lose the lead. So it's not like you have to come in and regain the lead. And that's why Martin, he's playing good defense right now. A lot of his offense is being created by his defense. Again, you can do that for 6 games. When you've had a few months off, and when you got breaks and you're not playing heavy minutes and all of that. And the minutes you play, Martin, offensively, that's where you can kind of rest.
Yep.
You got so many freaking weapons, you don't have to create everything. But when LeBron gets into the 82-game NBA season, now that's what you said. Guys will be blowing by him a lot defensively. The European players, as great as some of them may be, they're not the athletes, speed, quickness that you see in the NBA. And so they're not just blowing by LeBron or blowing by anybody in that regard. And so that's another reason he can shine in this situation. And so I'm with you. You don't, in the 82-game NBA season, I don't think he's the best American. But I will say this, Martin, and I can't remember who it was we were talking with, who said this, that there is no, now he said there is no best player in the world. I think that was Sean King when he was co-hosting with me last week. As I look at the Americans in the league, I mean, I don't know what American I would say is the best player in the world.
Well,
I mean, if you want to argue, best player in America, yeah. If you want to argue Anthony Davis, I thought he was the Lakers' best player last year because of his defense. I had him on second team All-NBA. I think he made second team, and I think LeBron made third, if I'm correct. That's what my ballot was. You could argue that, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I don't feel comfortable saying Anthony Davis is the best American. I think Anthony Edwards.
That's
especially
crazy.
If you want to project a little bit of what he's going to do next year.
Chris,
but
kidding.
I think it might be a space where we really are like, well, right now, nobody's fully gained those reigns where you can definitively say, oh, he's the best American. Are you with me on that, or do you think there is one?
Behind the scenes real quick, I walked in the last commercial break to ask Rob G, who is the best American-born player in the world, because I thought you might have had a different opinion, so I was prepared to defend mine, right? And I said, I'm trying to decide between both the Anthonys. It's either Anthony,
Wow.
legitimate. I'm trying to figure out which one I like better than both the Anthonys. I can make a compelling argument, I feel like, for both of them. I think I'd have Anthony Davis a slight notch ahead of Anthony Edwards just because of a little bit of reputation. Obviously, Anthony Davis's health is a problem, and this is kind of the first year we have seen Anthony Edwards at the highest level in terms of Western Conference Finals and so on. He's obviously been in the NBA for a few years before that. But I think I have to give the nod to AD right now with the caveat that Anthony Edwards is a close second. But to your point, I think that, like, we talk about the gap between quarterbacks and we talk Patrick Mahomes, and it's a Grand Canyon between him and everybody else.
Right.
It ain't no Grand Canyon in the NBA anywhere. It's a solid set of probably 4 to 5 guys who on any given night can lay claim to it.
You're talking about the Americans.
Yes, the Americans, strictly Americans.
Right. And I think we agree that I would say the 3 best players in the world. Would you Giannis, and not in this order, but Jokic, Giannis, and Luka?
Sure.
Now, let's keep it real, and I think that's pretty clear. But Jokic went out in the second round this year. Giannis obviously has been injured. And Luka, of course, got to the finals, but they went out pretty meekly.
Wow.
Well, I could see any of them going out in the second round again. So while I think they're the 3 best players, you look at their numbers throughout the year, you look at their impact on the game, I think that's fair. And let's keep it real. Jokic does not have, like, LeBron does. This is one of the reasons I say you can't say LeBron's the best player, certainly over an 82-game season. He does have Anthony Davis, Martin. If you gave Anthony Davis to Jokic or Luka or Giannis, you know what I mean? It's over. And so I think that's something you have to really look at. But we're in the era of parity. I mean, heck, Boston might win it again. Jason Tatum's great. He could be all NBA again for the 4th straight year. But I don't think anybody's ready to say, with good reason, he's the best player in the world. He's one of them, but he's not the best player best American player in the world.
I mean, there are people arguing he's not the best player on his team.
Right.
You guys with Jaylen Brown winning both MVPs. So I'm right there with you. LeBron's not the best born player in the world, but I tell you this, I really have enjoyed watching him play this floor general style of basketball, and it does make me just wish, like Rob Pelinka, just wake up a little bit and get this guy some wing help, like a little bit.
Well, and I don't know if it was I think it was when Westbrook went to the Lakers. And I said it all over the place, TV, radio. I was saying LeBron should be the point guard.
Yep.
LeBron should be the point guard, period. Like, he's the best decision maker. He doesn't have to do all the scoring that he used to do anymore, unless he just wants to try, which he does clearly want to keep scoring. But, he could get everybody involved. And what I was told from, like, people close to LeBron and all that is that he can't do that anymore. He can't run the point anymore for 80 games.
Yeah.
And for 40 minutes a game or 37 minutes a game or whatever it might be. And that puts too much pressure on him or just fatigue, which I get. But that, again, he could do that, Barton, in these Olympics for 6 games. But he can't do that during the NBA season.